Hello, 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 and welcome back to Art Stream. Finally, another Art Stream. Oh my God, I finally did it. And good news is I am running this now on a what's it called? X.264. So we're actually doing a CPU stream this time. It looks okay. Doesn't look bad. Only got 9.5 utilization, 10% utilization on my CPU for some reason. I could probably actually make this even better, but we'll worry about that later. First time using it on this machine. Okay. So yeah, I had this idea, that I wanted to try out, and I wanted to try it out on making kind of like a 3D project dealing with like Christmas or something like that. And I had this idea that I wanted to make a neon sign for Christmas. And to get that started, that's true. It's probably low load. You're absolutely right. But I wanted to get started on doing it, basically making a sign. And the only way we can do that is say Merry Christmas, right? Maybe have some snowflakes inside of it too. I think what I'll do is I'll pop open Illustrator and we'll get started on that. So let's create a new. We'll do film and video. We'll make it 1080 and create that. And we'll see how this goes. And I think we'll listen to some music while we're doing this too. What do you say? So let's open up that, get ourselves going here. Let's do, who I really like? I like Luck Hash. We'll try Luck Hash. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's do it. How's that look on my stuff there? Not bad. Okay. Beautiful. Head bang it away. Okay, so we're going to start doing some things here. I think what I want to do is get my text option. We're going to need to move that Twitch overlay real quick. Cover those borders so I can move it to the side here. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so let's grab this. And I think what we'll do is we'll make it Merry. Or maybe it'd be all caps. We'll worry about that later. Okay. Okay, let's center that. Get that nice and centered. Alright, let's see what we can do here. What would be fun Merry Christmas font? I'm thinking something kind of like this, that not as creepy. Still creepy. Yeah, something like this, right? This is a doable one. That's Holland. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. Okay. Let's save this. Merry Christmas. Neon sign. Okay, so we'll take this and we'll expand on it, create outlines. That'll give us the outlines for it. Should be pretty simple. Now I'm seeing some things kind of interjecting in there, and we don't want that. So we'll need to clean this up a little bit. So maybe we'll take that out. I remove those, and that one too. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just take these and kind of move them over here to the side. And that way we can get those kind of connected a little bit. Where they're kind of in the same vein. You know, I think I just freaking realized something. What I should probably do is try to connect them as much as I can. Let's take these two. Those to kind of connect in a little bit. Here. I don't want that, not per se. Let's grab this. Yeah, there we go. It's just that one. Cool. Everybody else looks good. Suppose I could connect that one, but try that. So we'll create our outlines again. And this time, we'll just take this straight into there and see what happens. So we'll save it for C4D. And we're going to save it as Illustrator 8 because Cinema 4D does not take anything beyond, at least as far as I know to this day. Okay, so let's switch our view over. Alright, let's import that in. Let's see here, I want streaming stuff, creative streams. Alright. Let's grab this. No, that doesn't come in. Right? Yeah, that doesn't. My bad. Let's try this one. There we go. Do not connect the splines. Do not group the splines. There we go. So in theory, it should all be right there, and it is. So that's great. So I guess we can delete that. Take our group, set its coordinates to 0, 0, 0, and for some reason it is still not. Oh, what? How do you figure? Oh, yeah, let's get rid of that. We don't need that. Set that to 0, 0, 0. There we go. It's really, really small. So I think what we'll do, first order of business, is to make it much bigger than that. There we go. Alright, save this as... Alright. Now what? Okay, so we got all these things separated, which is good. So, the first thing I would think about doing is, since I have all these splines now, right? Let's start with the C here. What I could easily do is create a circle, right? Put that circle into here, and then we can grab ourselves a sweep and throw this into there. What we'll get is this giant circle, which is not what we want. We want that. And now, of course, it's a giant, huge ball of what the fuck. So maybe don't do that. What we'll do is we'll take our circle, which is probably huge, and reduce it to like 0.1 or some shit. Okay. And now, obviously, our we're in feet mode right now. That's ridiculously huge. So what I'll do is I'll go to help. I'm sorry, it's under preferences. Let's go under preferences, let's change our units to something more manageable, like inches or something. There we go. So we can do like 0.5 or 0.1 inches. And that'll give us kind of a tube shape, right? So the idea is to have a core. So we did 0.05. Alright, have fun with lunch, man. I'll see you in a bit. So the goal is to have kind of this like circle, right? Or that would be the baseline here. It could be the light source. Okay. Then we can get another sweep going. And instead of the circle, let's put in something like, I don't know. Well, actually, we could just have the same circle. Alright, but we'll make it a little bigger. It'll be like 0.1. And we can set that to be transparent. Okay. Now the best way to do that would probably be to you know, change some things up, but I think what I'll do is I'll just do that, and we'll do that. Or actually, we can keep these as those kinds of objects. Here we go, X-ray on that. So now we should be able to see the interior, and that is going to be that little section in there. So how this should work, we should be able to make a new material, or take a material like from LiveDB, for instance, and we should be able to say take a glass, something like that. Maybe like the zero gel might be good. Let's try that. We'll stick that onto there. Okay. And then we'll get a new octane material with the regular material. And we can make it like this, turn off diffuse and roughness and bump and all this other stuff. Even opacity, right? Because all we want is the emission. Okay. We can get a texture emission. It'll be like this color. And that's it. Alright, let's see here. We've got the blue. We'll probably make it this like kind of neonish blue that we want. It's going to be a neon sign, so it makes sense. We'll stick that onto the sweep here, and we should have the interior there, which should make a huge difference. I think what we'll do too is we'll also tell it to have surface brightness. Okay. So the idea now is for it to have the light and space there. So, let's take our let's go into here into the settings. Yeah. And let's tell the where is it? Environment color to be black. So now we can see that. And I think what we'll do too is, now that that's the only thing that's visible, let's throw down a plane. It'll be the floor. Right? Let's pop it a little further down here. And then we'll throw ourselves like a metal material or something like that down below. So we'll grab a metal material. Something with a little bit of scratches and stuff on it, something interesting. Maybe brushed steel might be good. Let's try brushed steel. Download that, throw it on the plane. Now we should see a reflection, right? The best method I know of to make things a little bit nicer, just as preview wise, let's go ahead and get path tracing in there. We're going to set it to 2048. We'll do 8, or should I say, we'll do 4, 6, and we'll set this to 1. I didn't do that. Go back to path tracing. And we'll set this to that and that. Okay, it's not too bad. And then we'll do adaptive sampling too. Yeah. And we'll have it start 1024. Okay, we go 4x4. There you go. So not too bad. Okay, let's save that. So, alright. So you can see we're getting kind of what we signed up for here. We're getting this. Now the surface brightness isn't really showing much inside of it. I don't know, like it seems to me like the light isn't really coming out the way it needs to. So if we turn this off, it doesn't really, it's still not really doing it. So I'm thinking we should do a transparent emission. That way we might be showing it through there. I can't remember. Let's see. Let's see what this has to say. see. Okay. Okay. So, I think that is not too terrible. It definitely has some noise issues. And that is something that we'll need to take a look at. Now, let's actually go ahead and zoom out a bit here so we can kind of see what we're looking at here. Let's bring the power of this light down to, say, 50. Now, another method I know of, maybe not using a color, but using Octane's RGB spectrum. I think there's another way of doing this. I think that might be it. No, that's not it. But let's try something else entirely. I want to say there's something in here that I was using before that was really good. Gaussian spectrum, I think that's what it was. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, there it is. Let's do 0.05, and then we'll do another 0.05. Maybe 0.005. Yeah, 0.25 ought to do it there. Nice, yeah. Maybe 0.3. There we go. Now we're starting to see a little bit of the hint. The fringes are kind of bluish, and the rest of it's fine. Alright, so save that. Let's take a look at this a little closer. Okay, so the interior is really starting to show not so pixelated and nasty, which is good. Okay. Yeah. That's looking a lot nicer. Yeah, so I think fixing kind of like the rounding and the bubbling and all that stuff is going to be good. So let's try to make this look as good as we can. Well, we'll take our angle and we'll make it 0. Okay. Same thing goes for this. Make it 0. So that's as smooth as it could be. Alright, that's cool. Alright, so let's start doing stuff for each of these other ones. So we're going to turn this off so we can let our graphics card kind of cool down a little bit here. We're going to make this be the inner light, and this is going to be our outer shell. Okay, this is C, and it looks like this is H. Yeah, it's both those things. That'll be R. M A S, and we'll just do Mary as well. That way we kind of know where everything is. Yeah, nice. So save that. Yes, I am. Hey, Mutad, how you doing, man? Hope you enjoying the stream. I just started working on this particular project that I just came up with last night. Oh, good, man. Well, it is a lot of fun. A lot of learning involved. But once you get past some barriers, I'm telling you, it is very much worthwhile. Nice! Daily renders. Man, I wish I had the time. At one point I tried to do daily renders, and I just, you know, it's hard to keep at it, but it is worth it. Okay. Hey man, but by doing things is how you improve. That is how you do it. 100%. Because I learned the most while I was doing things, and I was consistently doing things, and I learned from other people. That's also a huge deal too. You know. And there's no shame in learning from other people and getting things going with that. This is not good. We need to fix that path there. Got a spike right here. Let's see if we can fix this. You don't need Octane. I mean, it's nice. Do you need it? No. I would stick with the default renderer for a while. But I mean, Octane is great if you have a decent graphics card. So definitely would suggest it if you have it. It's about $20 a month. And it allows you to be able to use 2 graphics cards at once. I'm using a Titan X Maxwell that I bought like 5 years ago. Does pretty good. So yeah, but I mean the standard renderer, if you have a decent, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. In fact, you can also use the RTX cores, the tensor cores, in that card to help out and do the calculations, so you'll be doing it pretty darn good job. I'm waiting for the 3090s to become more available so that I can actually grab that, because that's my next card. Because it's gonna just destroy what I'm trying to do here. Sure, go ahead, man. Yeah, you can just shoot it over to me. I don't know if I can or not. Let me see here. You kind of see what I'm doing here. Hang on a sec. May not be able to see links and stuff. here's what you could do. Let me I need to turn on the ability to see links. Oh, you DM me on Twitch? Perfect. Awesome. That'll be great.
What amount you've gifted, you can actually...
Oof, I don't want to hear these people. Let me take a look. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Yeah. And this was in C4D. Alright, cool. What I would learn... HDRIs? Cool, cool. Yeah, your HDRIs are going to help a lot. They're going to help you pre-light the scene. I wouldn't rely on them too much. But definitely, that would give you a good baseline. And then start getting some lights in there. I would say play with lights quite a bit, because you'll be surprised at what you can get. As HDRI is a base plate, then lighting with lights. A good person to look at, and I would highly recommend this guy. Go take a look at Andrew Kramer on Video Copilot. He talks a lot about some of his own products too, of course, but he gives a good baseline for anybody trying to get into motion graphics. Now, as far as any of that else is concerned, you definitely have a good style going with you right there. I would expand on that. Play with lighting, see what you can do with it. I do use it, yes. In fact, I can show you, if it allows me, an example of that. So let me see here. I've got... Where's the more recent one? Here we go. This will work. We'll do this. We'll get our deliverables for that. And yeah, we'll try this. Okay. We'll turn this on at 100%. All right, let me share this. Well, abstract is one of the strongest things you can do in Cinema 4D. It truly is. Let's check this out. Hopefully this comes out okay. There we go. Now we can see things. All right, here we go. So this is me using the stage camera in a lot of ways for a lot of these scenes. Thank you, man. Yeah, Cinema 4D can definitely do product design. In fact, you can actually make really good... Let me make sure my levels are good. Okay, let me turn this down a bit more. You can actually make really, really, really good templates so that you can just like set up your scene the way you want it to light, like a real studio would be. And you can actually make really good, like, you slap something in there and it lights it perfectly. So that's what I do a lot for product design and things like that. So yeah, the stage camera works really well. I would highly recommend using that if possible. But also, one of the things that I like to do is I like to really get what was it? I like to get a scene per shot in my head, right? And that's really what I end up doing. I do a lot of content. I do a lot of content for a lot of different people. Oil and gas, you know, healthcare, even like game trailers. You know, I've done a lot of stuff. And for me, you get a storyboard together, you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be able to draw. I can't draw at all, you know. And it's definitely something that you should do, is plan out what you're going to do and then flat out just go do it. and then do a project file per shot. Now that shot could be multiple shots as long as it's in the same scene. But yeah, that's really what it is down to, is you creating a project file per shot. And what's cool about these programs, and Blender does this too, I mean, so does a lot of other ones, you can copy all of this stuff. Like I could take this entire scene right here and create a new project and then just paste it in, and it's all right here. And any program can do this. So if it's just like, oh crap, I need to make a new shot, but I want to keep it separated, that's what you should do. Now, you're fortunate actually, because I teach this stuff at Houston Community College. So you got a teacher here. And so I teach part-time. I don't teach full-time because I actually work. But it's funny because one of the things I teach people is the full spectrum of things. Cinema 4D is great. You get a lot of stuff done in here, but eventually this has to go somewhere, right? It has to go to some editing platform, like say After Effects or Adobe Premiere, right? But the fact is that you have to get it there somehow. And the best way I know how to tell people to do that is in your render settings. You need to, one, make sure that your stuff is, where it needs to be in terms of resolution. But then the most important thing is save it out as PNG files, 16-bit. Yeah, that. And then you need to specify the range, right? Well, I want the whole thing to be rendered. Cool, all frames, right? What's great about this is that if you render out something, and let's say you have a camera move, right? Something stupid like, I don't know, I'll make a camera real quick. I need to make one anyway. Let's say I have a camera move that starts off here, and then we do a quick little bop, 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 bop. Let's say that it's like this. And we'll take a look at our preview here. And then we go all the way to the end. And it's just a stupid little camera move. It's like zooms in a little bit or something. Okay. Real nice and simple. Okay. Now I got that. Great. So I tell it to render that out. I want the whole frame sequence, and then we render it out. So let's say that we actually do that and we're done. What we should do after that is bring it into After Effects, right? Because maybe we want to do some more stuff. And you saw that video I just played. Dude, I didn't do all of that in Cinema 4D. The 2D text and stuff, that was actually in After Effects. And what's cool about it is if I want to save this out, right? Say I have a save here. There's this little option here called Compositing Project File. You click that on, you can choose which application you want it to go to. If I want it to go to After Effects, then grab all these things. It'll save out a file that has all the tracking information, the cameras, the lights, everything, and make it so that you can open it in After Effects. So now, let's say I wanted to track the sea here, right? Let's say I want to do that. Well, all I have to do is add in. It's really cool. I love doing this stuff. You add in, I believe it's called a, what is it called? A compositing tag? Yeah, compositing tag. I'm looking for it right now. They always change this thing. I don't ever know where it is. Where'd you put the compositing tag? There it is. External compositing. You want this one. You grab that. You tell it you want it to be a solid. Okay. Now, when you export this out, it's going to have, at this point right here, a solid at that point. So now maybe you want to add in extra text, or maybe you want to add in a post effect like particular or whatever, that you can do in After Effects. It's now tracked right there, and it will follow along on that one point without you having to worry about it later. So you can actually do some really cool shit outside of Cinema 4D too to add on to it. So, little tip. But that really is the biggest thing I can tell you to do. Learn the whole pipeline. It's got to start here, and then it has to end somewhere. So your final export will be either Premiere or After Effects, or both, who knows. And then once you get that figured out, it's great. And Cinema 4D is great for that. You're welcome, man. I'm happy to help. After Effects is great to work with Cinema 4D because you can do what I just described. You can export out all the information. I don't know if Blender has something like that or not. I haven't used Blender in like 5-6 years. I've heard it's gotten a lot better. And I've actually been thinking about it, like getting into it. Because they had this thing called Eevee that's got me really curious. You know, because I'm always looking for better solutions and rendering. Because, you know, the problem with rendering is time. It just takes fucking forever, man. Yeah. Well, and I'm glad it means a lot, man. I love helping people where I can. So it's just, but yeah, you know, like definitely learn it, man. And like this is going to be a quick, easy project for me because I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do. That's what I would think, right? There's a program inside of After Effects called Element 3D. And we were using that for a long time because it was kind of like Eevee in a way, but it was for After Effects. You can actually use it in After Effects natively without having to go to another program. But unlike Eevee, you know, it was limited because you can't like do complex things. You can only do simple things. One day I hope they update it. He says he's working on it, the guy who made it. So we'll see. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath. Now I got to fix this thing. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Wait. Are there two? Oh. Well, that's what it is. It's just... Yeah, that's odd. Should not be doing that. Oh yeah, sure, man, no problem. Just give me 1 sec. I'm gonna try and fix this. Is it because it's like this? Maybe that's it. Let me see if that fixed it. Yeah, that fixed it. That fixed it. I'm going to take this and put it up here instead. And that way we can just use that. Nice. Nice. Okay, I'll save that. I'll go check out your stuff now. Is this a different one or is this... Oh yeah, it is a different one. Okay, let me see.
Live TV from 85 plus channels with local sports and news. YouTube TV. Try it free.
Okay, YouTube. Thanks. Nice. Yeah, no, this is cool as shit. Oh, girl with the dragon tattoo. I remember this. Okay, right out the gate. There's this thing right here called Real Flow. Check it out. Okay. It's some money. It looks like it could have been. You can definitely do all that stuff. I can tell you right now, they probably used Real Flow, which is basically it's a really good plugin that allows you to do fluid dynamics. And the stuff that you saw with them moving, they might have done that with Real Flow. More than likely, they did it with X Particles. X Particles is a great tool that allows you to do similar things like that. It also does water and it does fire. So if you want a one all be all, X Particles is the way to go. What I would do for some of those shots is I would use Real Flow because the water it's specifically meant for water and liquids, and like it can be like viscosity, you know, like high viscosity, like the kind of ink look. It can do that pretty easily. But then also for the Fire, people on Fire, I would use Turbulence FD, which is meant specifically for lighting shit on fire. Now, Turbulence FD has been used in things like, I don't know, Punisher, who was it? What was that movie? Yeah, it's a C4D plugin. Yeah. All the ones I mentioned are C4D plugins as well. They're also can be used, I believe, in Blender. But all the ones I'm mentioning are also Cinema 4D. God, what was that damn movie? You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god, I can't remember. But the point is that yeah, these plugins are used, and Cinema 4D is used in those kind of pipelines as well. So be pretty good. But yeah, I've got RealFlow. I believe it's like $500, which is a lot, but that's what I paid for it. And I don't have Turbulence FD, but if I did, I used to. But if I did, I would use it. One of these days, I'll get it again. But it's also another $500. But for learning, I would. They have trials you can check out, so that's always good. And I would just keep getting use different email addresses. They have like a 30-day trial and stuff. Or I mean, if you got. I'm not saying that you can torrent it, but it's for motion graphics, yes. It's a bit of a tizzy point with some people. It's kind of like that whole BS thing that people get butthurt about when they talk about cameras, like for photography. Do you use Canon or Nikon, man? Who cares? Does it take a good goddamn picture? That is the real question, isn't it? So, Cinema 4D is a great tool. Yeah, just it's a great tool. It's perfect for motion graphics. Would I do a game character and animation and rigging and all this stuff that you would need to do to make a game character inside Cinema 4D? Probably not, because it's not that good for it. I'd probably use Maya, right? Because Maya has some really good rigging tools, Oh, dude, Beeple is freaking awesome. Of course, he says he sucks, over and over again, but we know. Beeple's a huge influence of mine, too, especially since I started seeing his stuff. It's just... Beeple, man, dude, that guy does just about anything. I don't know if we could really pinpoint a style for Beeple. Sometimes he does abstract. Sometimes he does just motion beat timing stuff. Sometimes he does music video kind of stuff, or what you would call like the background videos for DJ loops. He just does stuff. And I know right now he's on like a painting with like drawing deal where he does dailies with drawings. So he's not even doing like the Cinema 4D stuff 100% right now. So hey man, more power to him. I can't draw a lick, man. I can't even do stick figures right. So, but and yet I'm still in this industry and have been for 18 years now. Yeah, I would love to do stuff like that too. Sit down and just make things. And that's kind of what I wanted to do today. Just kind of do something simple for Christmas. Nothing crazy. You know how it goes. Because I never have enough time to do things. I want to say that that's exactly what I wanted to do, but I don't know what to do. Oh yeah, I need to put this in here. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, man. Anytime, dude. And I'm around. I do art streams every now and then. Mostly I've been playing games in the mornings anyway. Because I I just, I want to chill. And then throughout the rest of the day, I work, and I have my own company, so I can do all that. Yeah, go ahead, man. Check it out, dude. You send it over to me. You're good. I'll be happy to follow you, man. Always love meeting. Look, half the thing of this is meeting people, networking, and getting to know people. You never know where it's going to get you. And I have met hundreds of colleagues, and I keep up with half of them because half of them, they don't do it anymore. They get burnt out. They can't do this work anymore. And it's because they didn't network. And I learned a long time ago, that's what you have to do. Yeah, man, dude, more power to you. Learn all you can now. This stuff was a lot harder. Not harder. It was a lot easier in the past because you didn't have to know 3D. You didn't have to know 2D. I came into this as a video editor 18 years ago, and I was editing videos. And then one day we had to learn After Effects because there was all this 2D motion graphic stuff that we had to learn. So I learned it. Then all of a sudden people were expecting 3D. Stuff that used to be super expensive. And now I had to learn that, right? So 6 years ago I had to learn it. And so now I'm doing it, and it's like, now if you're coming into this game brand new, you have to know all this stuff out the gate. Just out the gate. It's a lot. And I don't envy that. So if you learn all this stuff now, dude, you're going to be doing awesome. Every Monday. Well, cool, man. Cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, make sure you DM me if you haven't already. Okay. Let's do this here. So we're going to get these all settled up right. Making this as simple as possible for myself. Okay. Nice, thanks, man. Yeah, that's already a good plethora of things to know, man. Because I didn't learn Illustrator or Photoshop like I should have when I first started this stuff, and I paid the price later. But I learned it later. Ironically, I also didn't know Adobe Animate. I had to learn that too for a client. Because they were like, I need some ads done. And I was like, okay, well, I could probably do that. And sure enough, I learned it. And now I'm doing stuff with a mattress firm because they need ads all the time for their mattress stuff, right? And, just like a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. And now I do. Because I forced myself to learn it. And yeah, it's boring work, but man, it's money. So, can't complain too much. Okay, album covers, posters, and logos. So I used to be in a band. So I understand that work altogether. I believe it's, I might still be on Spotify, actually. Let me see here. And now I'm curious if my band is still on Spotify. Did I pay? I remember paying for it. Yeah. I grew up. My mother's a piano teacher, so I grew up playing music ever since I was 6 years old, and I learned how to play drums. So it was fun. It was called Midnight Carnival. Oh, there we are. That's it. Yeah. So we had a person who made this album art. Just really good. I mean, she was an amazing artist. and she hand painted it, and we really liked what she did. Yeah, the art's great, man. I don't think I have a bigger version of this right now. Probably on my hard drive somewhere, but here's one of the. Let me see. Is this one of them? Yeah, this is. Yeah, I think I will, man. Well, I already saw what you did in 3D, and it looked pretty cool, man. So I really like abstract stuff. I guess I'll play one of my songs. I play all the piano and drum parts. The S. Yeah, why does the S have two pieces? It shouldn't. Delete that one. Yeah. Oh, that's it down there. Okay. Okay, let's see here. So I think we're ready to see a preview of this. Okay, it's not too bad. Okay, you know, that's not bad at all. Now, I'm noticing that this has, for some reason, I don't know why here, it's really tight. It kind of blows it out of proportion. And far away, it's a problem. Close up, not so much. I don't know, man. I'm wondering if I should just bring this down a little bit. Maybe that's the problem here. Maybe bring this down to 50. Oh no, I feel like that's probably fine. Look at the Gaussian spectrum. Let's do 0.0025 instead. What about 0? What does that do? Okay, 0.00. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Let's try 0.0002. Okay. 0.0005. I want to get a little more over here. 0.00075. Okay. Yeah. It feels a little better. Alright. I stand back to the luck hash. Here we go. Play. Yeah, so I like this a lot. I think this is going to work. I'm going to be right back soon as see a quick little break, and we'll be right back at this stuff. So 1 sec. Alright, we're back. So let's see here. Not too bad. So, you know, it's looking alright. Alright. I can see it kind of working. Okay. I think maybe you might want to think about just doing the texture emissions power at 0.0001. And that way maybe it'll be consistent. Yeah. I can see that. Okay. Okay. Not too shabby. So, what I want to do now is get some snowflakes in here. I'm going to do a search. See if I can find a good little vector snowflake. I just want something simple. A couple of simple ones. I think I found one. Why recreate the wheel, right? Okay, I think I found a vector file. We'll open it up in Illustrator. Let's go ahead and pop open Illustrator real quick. Alright. Let's see here. So, I think this one looks pretty good, but I don't know. You know, this one looks perfect for what I'm trying to do. So we'll probably grab this one. That group right there. So let's copy that. Do a new. We'll do, I don't know, just something simple. Probably be like 1024 by 1024. Create that, paste that in, and we should be perfectly fine with that. Something like that, kind of like that, yeah, that'll work. So let's save that. We'll do snowflake01. Save it as an Illustrator file, probably Illustrator 8, like I mentioned before. Oh, and we just need another one. I don't know. Probably get 3. I got so many here. That one's obvious, but I think that might be kind of cool. I don't know. Got this. This one's neat. I think I'll get this one. That sounds good too. Copy that. Okay. One more. So these two got a rounded one here, which is nice. These are probably going to be a problem, but we'll see. Maybe this one? That's a little bit much, isn't it? Maybe this one. Yeah, let's grab that one. Copy that. Okay, cool. We'll close out all that. And we'll head back over here. Okay. Alright, so let's merge these in, huh? Let's see, we'll get all these if possible, yeah. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. Let's see. If we increase the size of this thing, got our snowflake here. We don't need that. We definitely want the group. So the question is how redunculous can this get? I think maybe that size. Alright, so we gotta figure out what these are all gonna be. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Do I have a center one too? I do. Okay, so I should be able just to kind of grab these. Bring them up here. Should do it, I think. Yeah, it should be the same size and everything. We can pause that for now. Okay, that's the one snowflake down. It's not too bad. I'll just grab this. Okay, so we got this. Not sure where I'm going to put this bad boy, but I know it's there, so that's good. What I think I'll do then is we'll also merge in some more stuff. It's not too bad. Turned out pretty good. And I think we'll do this in feet. Maybe that'll be better. 1040 feet. Oh, well, maybe not. Alright. Let's try merging the project. Let's do inches, maybe? Maybe it'll come in better. Yeah, that's better. Could be worse. I think we'll just make it the same size-ish or so. Maybe a little bit bigger. There you go. Alright, not bad. There's a lot of stuff here. It seems like I might be able to get rid of that. And 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 that. Okay. Where's this? Oh. That's not bad. Alright, cool. Alright. Got a lot to do here. Ooh, man, look at all that. Okay. Let's grab these two up here. And then we're going to hide this one. This is the Merry Christmas group. Yep. That's what we're calling it. Probably stick it down here. What? Oh, right there. Gotcha. Oh, that's not too bad. Guess we could put that in here. Huh? Probably delete that one. Yeah. Okay. Are these the same size, roughly? Yeah, they are. Cool, cool, cool. There we go. Should be that, right? Yeah, it is. Nice. All right, one more. All right, let's see here. What we got? I need to get the snowflake 3 in here. And we'll do it like that. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. So this thing here... wait, is it actually like lining up with these things or no? Okay, cool. Kill that layer. Grab this group. We'll call that snowflake 3. Okay, let's get this kind of situated with the same size. There you go. Roughly the same. Where's this path? Oh, okay. Shit. Should know better. Another path in there. Yeah, I gotta be careful with that. Let's get these out right now. Okay. And I'm missing one. Alright, there we go. That'll do it. You know what I'll do? Actually, I'm not going to do this snowflake. I don't like this snowflake at all, actually. But I think what I'll do is just take these two and duplicate them. There you go. Have 4. Yeah. Okay, cool. Nice. So, here's what we're going to do. That's my floor here. Okay. So, I don't know. I like the way this is situated to a certain extent, but what I would like to do is maybe make one, I think all of these, Mary, should be a group, and Christmas should be a group. Alright? Because what I might want to do is take this and move it up, and take Christmas and bring it down below it. Maybe like right around here or something. Kind of like that. We can take the floor and bring it down a little more. Like maybe like right around there, so. Maybe take this snowflake here and bring it right there. Let's kind of get a front here view so I can see what's going on here. So if we went snowflake there, get snowflake 2 or whatever, bring it down here maybe. Maybe kind of like that. Grab this snowflake, maybe pop it on the other side. Kind of like this, maybe. I don't know. I think what I'll do is I'll delete these two. I want to have these two right here. I think what I do is I want to make another octane material. This will be the main light. Okay, and this will be the blinking 01. Make another one that'll be blinking 02. Okay, because what I'm thinking about doing is animating the texture to blink on and off. So we could probably stick on one of these blinking 01 on snowflake 1, right? Replace these. I think I replaced that one. Yeah, like that. So let's say I took this and I brought the power down to 0. Okay, so that's all of them, which is good. Okay. Then look at snowflake 2. Right. Let's get these kind of minimized here. Okay. I think I'll just delete these off so I know exactly where each one of these is. I'm not going to fool around with it as much. And I don't think it matters if I highlight them all. Let's test it. See. I don't think it matters. No, it doesn't. Okay, that's fine. We'll just duplicate this. Fill these up here. That's fine. Alright, cool. That's done. Alright, so let's take a look at that. So let's say I have this here, get our floor down some more, and then we'll just increase the size of the floor. I think, let's do 1000 by 1000. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay. So if I were to bring this down to 0 on the emission, we would lose that entirely. Okay. Which is what I would like. And then over here, it'd be the same as the other one. Alright, cool. That's kind of what I wanted to do. Okay. So in theory, what I could now do is duplicate these two. grab these two and duplicate them. Or I'll just come over here. So I don't know. How am I going to do this? I think what we'll do is we'll alternate them and surround it. That might be kind of cool. Yeah, fits it a little bit. So Christmas is kind of like red, green, and blue, right? Or no, it's red and green and gold. So with that in mind, I now have 3 different kind of light sources, right? So maybe what I should do, one, is take the floor and bring it up, because the floor needs kind of low down there. So maybe kind of like right there-ish or so. Maybe a little lower than that. Something like that. And since it's all kind of blue, I think I'd rather have more of a lighter color than that. So let's try changing our width. Is actually probably fine where it was. So our wavelength needs to change. Let's get kind of a goldy color if we can. And gold has a little bit of green in it. In fact, I might actually duplicate this slide and make it, I don't know, maybe I'll do a Merry, you know, like make the Christmas section of this a different color. I don't know, should I? I don't know. We'll see about that actually. In fact, I'm going to undo that until it's off. But the blinking light here, let's change this to be more greenish or whatever. I don't want to do that. It's the wavelength I want to change. Let's do green. I think it's on this side, right? Yeah, we'll do green. I think the width needs to change a bit. Maybe lower it some. Yeah, there we go. That's green. Alright, cool. And then we'll try the other one, which should be red, right? It's all the way at the end. It's all the way at the end, yeah. So that'd be red, maybe a little less reddy red. Bring the power up a little bit. Nah, I won't do that. Alright, cool. We'll do point. There we go. I'll bring this down as it do. Yeah, I think we'll just do straight 1 on that. Alright, so we got a Merry Christmas. We got the main light here. I think this main light It's got a gold tint to it. What about the width? What does that do? I think if we lower it down, it makes it even more stark. What if I did 0.025? Alright. So cool stuff. That's not too bad. So I think what we're gonna end up doing now, alright, is probably getting this right here. Okay. So we'll get that in there. I think maybe we should back out a little more. Yeah, something like that. Alright, and our timeline, I think what we're going to do is we're going to set this to 10. So if we calculate 10 seconds, right? So it's 90 frames per second, or 30 frames per second. Multiply that by 10, that'd be 300. So we'll do 300 is our final mark here. Zoom out on this, and all we have to do is change our keyframes to be at that 300 mark. And there. So now if we play this back, so I think now that we've got that going, we should kind of set this up to be a little bit like the blinking lights. Like, how are we going to handle this? I think what we should do is change the power, right? So we'll change the power on both of these. Okay? And how are we going to do that? Well, we got this power here, and I think maybe it'll come on, right? They'll stay on. Okay, we'll say they stay on for a second, right? And then they flicker off like immediately. Let's say they disappear. And then maybe a couple frames in, yeah, they just turn off. Let's just say they turn off, right? Then let's say they come on. You can say they're off for a second or two. Let's say 2 seconds. And then they come on at 100%. And then after a couple of frames, they maybe at 5, you turn off again. and then they come back on here. Okay. So let's see here. What does that do? What does that look like? If you push play on this. We don't know. We can't see. Okay. It might be like a quick little ditty, but maybe what we should do is instead of this, that point, right? We should tell it to turn back on briefly. Yeah, it comes on here. It's off. So it's on here. It's off there. I'm confused. They're off here. They turn on for a second. Alright, cool. So here, instead of that, we'll do 50% brightness, right? And then we'll say here, they're off again. Alright, they flicker off, and they come on entirely. Alright, cool. And then they're on for another second, right? So 100 at 100-ish or so, yeah. So another 30, so 130. And we just kind of rinse and repeat that, right? So we could take all of that and duplicate it. Take this and just repeat it, right? In theory. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then repeat it again. It's right there. Perfect. That's kind of what I wanted. Okay. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So, that in mind, I think we'll do the backlight, or the blinking light for this. Which already has one situated. We'll take this one here, if I can grab it. There it is. So this blinks on till here, so we'll put this here. We'll take it here, and we'll do 0, right? And it flickers on, or it comes on. In fact, we'll kind of take the same idea we had here. Set that to 50. Or actually, we'll put this right there. And then and here we had got it on, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we'll take this, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll set that there, yeah. Set that to 0. Now this right here was set to 50, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, cool. That's at 0. And we go to 50, it comes down. And then we did another 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 4 right there. And then we'll set that to 0 here, because for some reason, why is it at 100? That should be 0. Yeah. It goes down, it goes back up, and boom, right there. Should be at 100. Yeah, cool. And then that would last till here. Or here anyway. And then pop that there. Just like that. Yeah. Okay. And then we would wait till over here to bring it back, right? Okay, so we should be able to take this and duplicate this. I do mean the whole thing. There we go. Right there. like that. All right, cool. So that should do it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like it's kind of slow, right? I think it should be faster than that, maybe. I think what I'll do is I'll take all of this, right? Yeah. Like I'll just take all of this, and we'll not duplicate it, but shorten it like this. Maybe make it half the speed, and then duplicate it to where it's like right there, right? Alright, let's bring this in as direct lighting. So I want to kind of see this. We do 32 frames per second. We'll do a diffuse. We'll do 16 samples actually. What? Wow, I don't know what the hell is going on over here. Okay, that did not work out. So we'll undo that. I think what I'll end up doing actually is this comes on like this. Just take a look at it one more time. Yeah. I just feel like this needs to be... Yeah, okay. I think I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this and drag it over here, maybe like right there-ish or so, or right there. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what to do. So at 0, we have these on already. At 10, we'll bring them back. Okay. We'll bring these in. And then here, we'll cut them off. Right? Like that. So at 10, and here we'll cut them off. Or here, we'll bring them in. Right? There's a swap. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. So then we'll bring these in. Nice. Nice right here. So it'd be like every 20 frames, right? Right. So those will come in here, roughly. Maybe here, right? So that at here it'd be 40 where it comes back on. Okay, cool. I see. So we can do that there. Nice. Okay, cool. So we'll do that. We'll try to keep this as simple as possible. So it would come on here, and it would do that, and then it would come off, then it would come on there, and then it would do that. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that is a little more along the lines of what I want. So in theory, right, I can delete the rest of these frames and potentially just duplicate this? Or do I need to, like... Because this one's not exactly what I would call... Oh no, here's what... Yeah, that's not it. Let's try this. Because at 20 frames it needs to come back, right? These are already on. Okay, cool. So I shouldn't have to do that. I should just take these. So at 20 frames would be 60, right? So in theory it should just work. Yeah. Yeah. That works fine. Cool. Awesome. Made a loop. So 8, 9, 10, roughly. So right there. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So then we would just need like 80, right? Right there. Cool. That's all that needs to be done. Nice. Okay, cool. We figured it out. Nice. Yeah, it's working great. Okay, cool. So with that in mind, I think we're good to go on trying some new stuff here. So we've made our potential baseline here, right? And so now what I think I'm going to end up doing is kind of creating the next step in this evolution here. First I want to kind of reorder this stuff. I'll bring this down, and I think what I'll do is group these to be the snowflakes. And we'll just kind of do some maintenance here. Alright, cool. So now we've got Merry Christmas, and we've got the alternating items here. It makes sense for a billboard to kind of have a background, right? It doesn't make sense to have just, you know, blah. Like girders and stuff like that. So maybe what I should do is go to videocopilot.com or .net anyway. Now, one of the things I have here, of course, are the downloads for certain items that I have. Now, I'm hoping I can grab a few objects, preferably something that will work for what I'm trying to do. And they're screens, I believe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new window capture actually too. I'll call it After Effects. Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll have it be After Effects.exe. What's happening with After Effects, guys? There it is. Okay, so I hit OK on that, and then we'll grab this and make it After Effects. Perfect. Okay. Enable my preview so I can see things. Drag this down. Awesome. Okay, great. And we'll pull this down where it belongs. Alright, cool. So, got After Effects open. What I'd like to do is just create a new, whatever. I'm not going to save this. We'll go to Element. We'll pop that in. New, solid, like object, element, Bamzors. It's gonna crash on me, isn't it? Oh, no, it's coming up. There we go. Alright, cool. So now that we've got element attached, let's go to scene setup here. Hopefully this is visible. Probably isn't. Okay. So I want to see, kind of like in Motion Design 3, I believe it's the, let's see here. Screens, there they are, screens. All right, cool. So there's a screen or a few screens in here that might be useful. And some tech parts, some tubes and pipes. Okay, so all that stuff might be really, really useful. So I'm going to actually close this down, don't save. Hide that. Go back to Cinema 4D here. And we're gonna go ahead and download those things. Save that. So while that's downloading, it's going to take a minute. We'll go ahead and break for a moment. Get some more coffee, all that wonderful stuff. And then I will be right back. Alright, so it looks like that stuff came back and we're done downloading, so let's pick it up real quick. Okay, open up this. 3 gigs, huh? Could be good. I think what I'll do is I'll grab this and put it in one of my folders here. And I think I'll, yeah, for now, I don't know, it might be a good idea to put it in my creative folders. Yeah, let's do that. Creative streams. Do graphic assets. Yeah. Project files. Let's just throw it in here. Just waiting for it to extract, and then I'm going to open them up inside. Okay. All right. Just a few gigs left here. Okay, let's see here. Oh, 15 seconds. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's take a look at screen one. We won't do OBJ. We won't do OBJ. That sounds fair. No. 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 That's option number 6. No. 6 and 14. Mm. 6, 14, and what was this one again? 18. 6, 14, 18. Oh, definitely this. Yeah, no, 6, 14, 19. 6, 14, 19. Yeah, I like 19, actually. Okay. So we'll take 19. Okay. Ah, I crashed. Nice. Ah, crashing. I was wondering what was going to happen. If I'm being honest. Okay, let's try this out real quick. I'm thinking about just taking a material light like this yeah, grab a light and we'll do an octane area light. And we're gonna slap it back here, I think. Yeah, something like that. Kind of like this. So like this maybe. And then just maybe leave it back there just like that actually. I might just do it that way. So I'm curious what that looks like. Okay, okay. Okay, it's not looking too bad. I can dig it. Alright, I think we need to adjust our camera angle a little bit. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, good stuff. And then let's get this here to be 10 or something. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not doing this just yet. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll take the floor and I'm gonna bring it up into here to where it is just clipping over this. So I want to get that reflection. It's kind of what part of this is all about. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. Alright. Let's change our render settings quite a bit here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do an AI light. Coherent ratio of 0.4. Static noise if we have to. Adaptive sampling. We're going to bring this down to 256. And we'll see how this works out. What's up, Souls? Welcome back from Blood. I'm just about done. I'm just trying to see how bad this is going to be in our render. Yeah, that's about right. I thought the 264 would help with that, but it's not. But at least it's not completely cutting out. Hopefully I can still be heard. It's not dropping any frames. It's purely my GPU right now. It's having trouble rendering my screen. Yeah, I need a new GPU. No, I don't. I have software enabled right now. Yeah, I know. It's been this way for years. Ever since I started using Octane. Octane is just a freaking power man, or a GPU hog. So, you know, it sucks. It's better to be used on new cards for sure. Just seeing kind of like how it's handling the noise now. All the green sections are noise free. I don't know, man. It's not going to finish. I need more samples. Yeah, more power would be nice too. So that's the finished frame. It is not. There's no. It needs more samples. Okay. I mean, it doesn't look bad. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I really wanted to do. So, how it's going to look, if I do a very quick direct lighting, it's going to look like this. Simple little turn. So, it's not too bad. Huh. I'm curious actually, what happens if I do this? What if I use direct lighting? I mean, this is a crazy thought, but let's calculate 1024 multiplied by 5, which is 5120. So if I did 5120, right? Lighter does that. Kernel, so direct lighting. All right, cool. What if I did this instead? Because honestly, I could probably take the specular depth. Yeah, 5 is fine. AO distance is fine. Alpha shadows is fine. And then one could take a coherent ratio of 0.4. We could take our adaptive sample and we could bring that to 2048. It should go a lot faster. Problem is we wouldn't get the kind of look on the edges here. We wouldn't get so much of this. But it might actually be better. And direct lighting just doesn't have as many bounces as the other stuff does. It has like one or two bounces or something, instead of just like infinite, which is what the other one is doing. So it tends to calculate a lot faster. I'm still getting reflections, which is good. Yeah, once it gets to that 83 degree mark, it starts stuttering like crazy because it's thermal throttling. And that's the biggest problem with Titan Maxwell cards. Or any card in the Maxwell lineup. They run hot. So, you know, they don't run hot when it comes to games. They run hot when it comes to this. And I've even put like a dedicated fan on this damn thing, and it doesn't matter. It just runs hot. Yeah, it's great when it comes to games. It's just any professional application, and you're asking it to like use everything all at once. You know. Man. Yeah, I made the mistake of like looking up trying to find like a 3090 online, and I was like, oh god, people are selling it for so much, man. It's like, it's not worth it. Yeah. Yeah, it was a waste of time. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was able to find a 3950 for like 600, and I mean it's a lot, but it's a really good processor. So I don't know. I saved it in a list on Newegg just in case, so when things kind of get a little less ridiculous, I'll look at it again. Are you making that shock face? I'm guessing that's a bad value. Oh man. Well, Talking about a processor. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. No, the Ryzen chips just came out. Like earlier this year. Like February or March or something. That one just came out not too long ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, what's the I forget which one I was looking at. Was it 3060 or 3090? I forget. But so whichever one it was, they were saying, yeah, this is freaking phenomenal for this kind of stuff. And I like I like the option to be able to go between rendering with buckets, the normal rendering style with CPU, and kind of being able to do GPU rendering and having a choice. I really liked it a lot. So the 16-core processor is really kind of what I was looking at. You know, Threadripper, I mean, that's an expense. It's way more than I think I'm going to be able to spend on it. Let me see here. Let me go to Newegg real quick. Go away. What's this? Oh, okay. Let's see if I can show my list here. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Can I? There it is. Okay. 3950X. Okay. Is this done? It's done. I mean, it's not nearly done. It looks even worse in a lot of ways. So I'll return to this later. I'm not really interested in this anymore. I've built it. I just need to tweak it for rendering. So I'll mess with that when I'm off camera. Yeah. But let's take a look at this stuff I'm thinking about here. So there we go. So I slapped something together yesterday just to kind of see what it would look like. So you got your 16-core 3950 here, X. Yeah, so $724. It's more than I thought it was. And I figured, why not get the Dark Hero, which it's basically like one of the only AMD boards that comes with, you know, like the updated BIOS. But even that's balls of the wall expensive. And you know, 120, and I figured, well, if I'm gonna be doing this redunculous crap here, then I may as well just go ahead and go balls to the wall and get 128 gigs of RAM. And I was like, wow, why not? Let's add in a 3090, you know? Yeah. And then, and screw it. Let's get the Cooler Master Cosmos. And then let's just go ahead and get this ridiculous 1600 thing. So you can just see, I started going nuts with it. I'm just like, you know, whatever. And I'm going to get two 32-inch quad, you know, 32-inch monitors. I don't know where I'm going to put them, but I got two of them. So, yeah. At 144 hertz. Yeah. But, you know, and even still, though, it was cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I mean, you know, 5,000. But here's the thing, like, I want two of these. I want two. Oh, God. So yeah. Because if I'm gonna spend, I know limit 1, yeah, exactly. But if I'm gonna spend, you know, all this money, it's an investment. So, you know, I have no idea why the case limit is 2. Like, why do you need 2 of these? I didn't even notice that. That's hilarious. I mean, you know, I was thinking about, I was doing a lot of research yesterday, and I was like, okay, you know, the a cheaper motherboard would be the was it the Tomahawk? The MSI Tomahawk. It's got a lot of good reviews. Has you know, 60, what is it, a 60 amp VRM situation, whereas, you know, the Hero has a 90 amp. But I mean, you know, it's good for overclocking too, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles the Hero has, but you know, it's certainly an option. I don't know. And but I mean, I really, you know, I want something that's good for my 16 core 3950X. You know, I don't want to be scrimping on some things that are going to potentially have any issues, especially if I decide to overclock. And I'm going to overclock it to at least 5.0. You know, no reason not to. I mean, it's going to boost to 4.7. You may as well just 0.3 more. You know, why not? Memory 3200. I mean, I got 3600 in there. I mean, running on XMP. Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, it's just, you know, the biggest issue is this stupid freaking card. I can't, even if I could buy it right now, I can't, you know, I can't. And of course, everybody's like, oh, you know, I got a 3080 instead of a 3090. Oh, it's better and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, because you're playing games, dude. Of course it's better. You're playing games. You know, and nothing wrong with that, but that's not what the 3090's for. It's not for games. You can play games, but it's not for games. You know, I don't know. But Sabrent, the Sabrent, I have a Sabrent Rocket, not this one, but I have their cheaper one in my machine right now. I mean, it's great. That looks good. I mean, I got it for my wife too, you know, like their little $180 1 terabyte version of their SSD is, I mean, it's cheap, it's reliable, it's great. I haven't had any issues yet. Now this is the PCI Express 4. I figure I might as well as, you know, the board has PCI Express 4 built into it, so I might as well as get it now. And I don't really know about this. I might get a Kraken, but those are more expensive. I don't even know if I want to do liquid cooling. Because if I have the Cosmos, I can just get a really kick-ass, not Nautica. RGB, the RGB. And if you peel off the plastic, it adds frames too, right? Yeah, that's definitely it. It's definitely it. And it's like, you know, I know everybody's kind of like gung-ho about this like 4K thing, you know, 4K screens and stuff. 2K looks great to me. And I'm sitting in front of it. I like 2K actually better than 4K. I had a 4K screen at my previous job, and things were really tiny. You can scale stuff, but I don't know, I just didn't see the point. I didn't see the point. Like, I was like, alright, I'm sitting in front of it. I'm just going to get 2K. It looks great. You know? So I got, you know, 2 of those. I mean, if I was like sitting way back, sure, 4K had a really big screen. 4K is great. But I don't need that for this. But 144 hertz monitor, 2K. I was looking up a lot of things. Apparently, you know, a lot of games will play at 144, maybe, you know, maybe a little lower. Hertz at 2K with a 3090 or 3080, no problem. So, yeah, hell yeah, do that. I mean, if I'm gonna spend this much on a freaking monitor, I'm gonna use it. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. Well, I have a client who's demanding my attention. I don't know. I should probably talk to him before he gets all crazy on me. So that's gonna be it for today. Thanks, man, for watching. I had some other people drop in. Thank you. Let me name them off real quick before I jump out of here. We're gonna pop that up there. Thank you, Miotod, I should say. Thank you, Death Zero and Tragic Hero, N7 Tragic Hero, for following today. So, alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will check you all later. Bye-bye.